Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Hurdy Burke Broadcast Network, where we're on with the Power Hour with Danielle Smith. And we got some great archives up on the group page. It's open to the public. All you have to do is join, and we'll make sure we add you to the group. And we are continuing to be educated on everyone communicates, but few connect. Danny, take it away.
Yay, baby. I'm fired up. I'm excited. How about you? You're excited. How about me? That's what you said. Everybody might say, hey, you're excited. How about me? And do want to give a shout out to Realtor Don Overbaugh for his comment. He listened to the podcast last week, made a comment on there about how much he enjoyed it. Good words to start off the day. Thank you, Don. You start working on some things, and then right in the middle of working on it, you start getting, you think you're doing pretty good. I think I work at connecting real well. I actually work through, I have a connecting plan, and though I sometimes wonder, maybe I just need to go, what's the old word, the old saying? I don't know if I should say this or not, but balls to the wall and just run hard and just pick up the pieces along the line, because sometimes I wonder about my connecting, and I think I'm doing a pretty good job. I do all of the, well, you know what? We covered it last week. Let me do it right now. Connecting signals. Right. Oh, this is what, when you and I were talking earlier, and you said something about appreciation, or you said it just now too, about appreciation. That's a connecting signal. That's where you got this, huh?
Yeah, because Don, commented, and so I was just saying he did an appreciation, which is a signal for connecting, right? You just picked up on it. All right, good.
I'm a little bit slow, so I'm just kind of looking through this. Appreciation, openness, is some connecting signals: unsolicited, unguarded, increased enjoyable experiences, emotional bondedness, positive synergy, growing synergy, and unconditional love. Oh, you told me you loved me earlier, and that's where you were looking at the list, weren't you? I get it now. All right. Okay. Well,
see, I was preparing for the broadcast, right?
You were preparing for the broadcast. Okay. That's all right. That's all right. You're doing good. I don't care what anybody else says, Hurdy.
All right. Well,
finishing up, what was the first chapter in the book is connecting increases your influence in every situation.
Right.
I think about the things I do to connect. I work at it, and it's not something, I've connected, I think, well with certain people over the years. There's certain people I know I haven't connected with, and I wonder sometimes about the demographics around when I connect and when I don't connect. I know that the people, the 300 or so clients I've had in the past 5 years have been mostly over 55 years old. And I've looked at the demographics. I've gone back and looked through this, and there's been, even referrals that I couldn't help, maybe, even some people that have come through classes. So I don't have their date of birth like I do as a mortgage loan officer. I've got your date of birth, so I know how old you are. But just putting it all together, I know that most, I'm talking about 80+% are over 55 years old. I also know that a majority of those are men, but I also know that I've been accused of, at different times over my life, of forming these boys' clubs. And it's not anything I do purposefully. It's some kind of attraction. Our group that we meet on Friday, CBLG, we've been accused of being a boys' club. It's mostly men that come there for whatever reason. So in a way, the whole connecting thing and the whole idea of connecting with people and not just communicating. When I have a one-to-one with somebody, and I'm going to kind of cover this a little bit. We're getting ready to move into a whole series on around guerrilla marketing. And it's guerrilla marketing for people out on the streets making their money, making their living out on the streets every day. I'm not talking about the guerrilla marketing side of the world that's all about weird advertising stuff. You don't even, you'll Google and and put in guerrilla marketing. Everybody's going to do that now that I said it. It's some weird crap. Okay, it's some weird stuff people do and put it under the guise of guerrilla marketing. And I don't know that it's what J. Conrad Levinson meant when he first wrote that book back in 85, 86. Mm-hmm. He did have some weird stuff, but some of it's just way, way out there. But with me, with guerrilla marketing and my style of guerrilla marketing I teach us is using a lot of things to stay connected with people. Not, you connect with people when you shake their hands, when you meet them, and then how to stay connected through screen to screen handshakes. When you shake the hand the next time you see them at a meeting, that there's been some trust gained in between that 1 week to the next or a month or something. So and it's part of a connecting plan. Now here's something interesting. John's book, he talks about high achievers, average achievers, and low achievers. Erdy, we might not get past this today, but it's okay. You need to stop me. I'll take a breath. Just stop me.
Take a breath.
Okay. High achievers. They care. Okay, just a second. Jay Hall of consulting firm Telemetrics has studied the performance of 16,000 executives and found a direct correlation between achievement and ability to care for and connect with people. Here are a few of the findings, and the footnotes are in the book. I hope everybody just go buy the book in a way. High achievers. These 16,000, the high achievers cared about people as well as profits. They viewed subordinates optimistically. Now, by subordinates, we're talking about the org chart. Okay, right. They viewed subordinates optimistically. They sought advice for those down the org chart from them, and they were listeners. Those are the high achievers. The low achievers were preoccupied with their own security, showed a basic distrust of subordinates. They didn't seek advice and avoided communication and relied on policy manuals.
Wow. That sums it up.
Yeah, it really does. We talked last week, I think, in the call, and I've talked about the book Give and Take by Grant Adams, and he's surveyed and done analysis on. There's various groups throughout the book he talks about, so tens of thousands of people over the years, and he talks about this high, average, and low. Successful people, high, average, and low achievers, if you will, in all areas, from doctors to bankers to attorneys to engineers to salespeople to pastors, and the whole thing around give and take. And the bottom third, the low achievers, and the high achievers were givers.
Yep.
Classified as givers, not takers, not matchers. The middle average group, the average achievers, for him, he found out that they were takers or matchers. I'll give you this, Herdy, but I expect it in return.
Exactly.
Yeah. Johnson, LBJ. Anybody read much about LBJ? He was a huge matcher for years. If I introduced you to Darren today, Herdy, and 10 years from now, you and Darren did a deal together, I being LBJ, if I was LBJ, I expected a commission off of that deal y'all did 10 years ago. That's a matcher. You don't do anything for just doing. So, we have to have, we don't have to have, but we have to, in our head at least, not necessarily written down, what is our connection plan? What is our plan around connecting? That's one of the things we're doing here. We're prepping for, I didn't go into that a while ago, we're getting ready to do a series on guerrilla marketing for salespeople, the guerrilla marketing for networking, if you will, and a whole series around stop wasting handshakes. So connecting is all about others. When I have a one-to-one, And it might be because I don't want to talk about myself. That's what some people would say. Danny, you don't like talking about yourself. Okay, well, I love talking about. I thought I did. I don't know, my wife and my kids. I don't know if you would agree with that, but is that when I have a one-to-one, I'm there to learn about the other people. I want to learn about what's the trigger. How do I understand what it takes to give Hurdy a referral? Because that is a big thing for me, is giving people referrals. Michael Mayer, the number one most referred realtor in the United States since 2004, recognized on stage a few times at the National Association of Realtors yearly convention as the most referred realtor in the United States. He has a goal at the beginning of this year. He told me 3 weeks ago, took a class from him, live class, and is a webinar, okay, but he says that his goal this year is to give 1,000 referrals and receive 500. He doesn't worry about the 500 because he knows he gives the 500, the 1,000, the 500 are going to come about. But here's the interesting part. They don't come necessarily from that 1,000.
Wow.
That goes back to Adam Grant. Adam Grant, his whole, in his book, and again, he's got a lot of credibility around what he does, and and one thing I look at footnotes to see, okay, this guy referencing stuff, somebody's referencing stuff. It's a lot for me. I get a little more comfortable with quoting a book and information if they're giving some good reference, some good footnotes. And Adam Grant, he'll tell you the same thing. A lot of times you're working over here and your business is coming, you're working over to the left, your business is coming from the right. Or the business is coming from right in front of you, and you didn't, all this work you did over there, you think that's for nothing. I don't believe it is. And I think there's a whole spiritual side of it. Won't get into that right now, but we have to be giving, okay, and we're going to get. Now, the difference between the low achievers and the high achievers, Grant says, is that the low achievers wear themselves out giving, and they're not taking care of their business. You and I talked about that 2 or 3 times, recently. So
Danny, I'm going to interrupt you for a minute. So I think on the lower achievers, don't you think that people in business that are starting out with their startup or maybe been in a few years, maybe start out as a low achiever because they're trying so desperately to put money in the bank account, and maybe they mature and grow into a high achiever as time goes on? Is that possible that the model could start that way? Repeat how, start what way? In a startup, an entrepreneur is trying to get as much business as possible, right? So they might start out as a low achiever because they're thinking about themselves only, right? But eventually, they're a giver and low achiever is what you're saying, right? And then eventually they get to becoming a high achiever because they mature, right? They realize that they can give people what they want, and then in return they get what they want. I guess that's a Zig Ziglar. That is a Zig Ziglar
path you were headed down there. But I think so. But at the same time, I mean, we have to be out selling. A lot of times we're out selling. We have commission breath. We're not. We need the sales to start off with, depending upon your temperament, your personality, and what you're doing. That might be it might work out really, really good. But the person that's the entrepreneur, he loves his product. He's very good at what he's doing, but he's uncomfortable in the selling. In always be closing. He's uncomfortable with that. If that person would just start giving, I'm not sure that, I do believe that if he'll start giving, he's going to work his way through to sales quicker than the person is just handing out business cards and sell.
I agree.
And then so they become probably more of a giver, taker, more of a matcher is what Adam Grant would say. And I went back to that graph in the book. I didn't cover this a while ago, but average achievers, and this is in Everyone Communicates, Few Connect. The average achievers, the people that are giving and taking, I'm giving, but I'm being sure I'm taking something back. I'm getting something back for it. They concentrate on production. Let's just leave it at that. There's some more right there, but it doesn't pertain to what we're talking about. They concentrate on production. So the average achiever, maybe if we put this in the context of grants, the giver, the give and take person, the matcher is very concentrated on their own production.
Yep. Okay. Kind of black and white, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, if you read this chart, you should pretty well know where you stand pretty quickly, unless you're in denial, that river in Egypt. But go ahead.
Okay. All right.
So why do people focus on themselves instead of others, Danny?
I think they're wanting to get their. I just want people to know about me. I want, I want to tell about me. I want you to be sure you understand what I do, and they just ram. I'm the biggest rambler in the world. I say the same thing over and over again, and when I could have said it all in about 10 seconds, and I say it in 10 minutes. But they want to just tell people they either one, they need the money, they need to sell, and they're just told they need to go out and sell. But Levinson and Guerrilla Marketing, and I firmly believe this, and that everything you do before and after asking for the order is marketing. Selling is asking for the order. And why in the heck do we try to ask for an order from somebody? Why in the heck are we trying to sell somebody that is not interested in buying us or buying from us? They don't even know what we do, and we're trying to tell what we do, and they still don't know what we do.
Yeah.
So that's the part that gets me. So here, let's real quick go through this. We're going to finish up here in about the next 2 or 3 minutes. Connecting is all about others. This is chapter 2. Little cartoon. There is no I in team, but there is an M in me, and that spells me. So let's see. Why I focused on myself instead of helping others. Immaturity. So the answer to your question, Purdy, you asked a while ago, is immaturity. Immaturity. The ability to see and act. Maturity is the ability to see and act on behalf of others. The whole thing around ego, man, some people can't stand hearing about other people. They just want to hear themselves talk about themselves. Here's what people are asking us. When somebody sits down in front of you, Hurdy sits down in front of me, mm-hmm. I know, and I struggled with this when I first, I think I mentioned before, when John was writing this book, he was putting this up on a blog. This was 7-8 years ago. And I loved it. That blog would come out and I would engage in. I remember him saying this on this blog, and he wrote quite extensively about this. In the book, he talks about it extensively. People are really, at least subconsciously, they're thinking 3 things. Do you care for me? Can you help me? And can I trust you? Connecting begins when the other person feels valued.
That's powerful.
I mean, it just, there's nothing else. We're going to talk about more of this in the weeks to come, but there's nothing else we really need to say other than that right there. You're doing is telling me about what you're doing and how you can be the best at whatever you do. I don't know if you care about me. I don't know if I can trust you. I don't know if you can help me. You're trying to tell me you can. Guys, anybody listen to this? Read this book. I've had some pretty intense conversations with a few people over the years about how to have one-to-ones. If you're in the networking world, how to have one-to-ones. If I've got a person that really cares about more than just they're caring much about me, we're spending at least 30 minutes in a 1-hour meeting. He's learning about me. He's asking questions about me. He's asking questions, yes, about my product, but he's asking questions about who I am and what I'm looking for and what pain that I have. And, who does he know that can help me achieve, let's say, some happiness? That's what we're all looking for. We're all looking for happiness. We're looking for joy. We'll not be looking for a sale, but what's going to come out of that sale? What's going to come out of the sale is money. It's going to come out of bank deposits. It's going to be able to, you say, write a check, to pay a bill online or whatever. Okay, and there's some happiness that comes out of that. Yeah, and some people are saying, I know. Well, success means and happiness means more than that. Yeah, get off of it. You still need the money. As Zig Ziglar said. Anybody that says that they're not concerned about money, well, I don't trust them because they'll lie about other things also. Now, I do know it ultimately, just so there's no question about this, and a little bit of a rant here, but God's going to take care of me, okay? It does scare me that he might take care of me with no money, but, I do believe that I have that I'm to do my part of my stewarding of money and my time. Hurdy?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
This was podcast
number 6,
the Power Hour number 6. I appreciate it, and we will carry it on. We're going to keep going through this, and we're going to keep talking about connecting and how and just connecting with people.